The book is called School and Schooled, A Flight Plan for Life and an All-American Story of Hard Work and Success. And Frank Donahue, the author, writes, in the USA there are around 1 million lawyers and around 900,000 doctors, but there are only about 100,000 airline pilots. How scary is it? Talk to us about being an airline pilot.
Well, Joe, when nothing's going wrong, it's like a walk in a park. It's very easy. But you know, sometimes there's weather we have to deal with. There's mechanical, something breaks in the plane. There's deviations.
Because you have a lot of time in the cockpit, is it easy to pull off a book like this because you can spend some time thinking, maybe even writing during those hours?
Well, not really. A lot of times people will walk up in the cockpit and see the pilot and the co-pilot sitting there, and it doesn't really look like they're doing anything. The autopilot's doing everything, right? Well, not really. The pilots have to program the autopilot. The pilots are thinking about the next segment, the weather, what they're doing, so forth. I would say most of this writing and reading and researching I did while I was on the ground on my layovers.
And what's the difference between the two industries, the two career paths?
Flying passengers and flying cargo is kind of like your car. If you get in your car and you got a load of passengers with you, do you drive any different than when you come back from the grocery store? Or maybe if you have a whole bunch of eggs on board, you're driving a little delicately. Maybe if you got a whole bunch of bricks on board, it's kind of heavy, you got to handle it a little differently. Maybe if you have some children in the back, you're a little delicate. Or if you have some adults, you might be, or peers, you might be showing off your driving skills a little bit. But, a car's a car. It's just like a plane's a plane. Whether you're carrying people on the back or cargo on the back, you still want to get safely from A to B.
The neat thing is how you shift gears and you get into self-help chapters. Let's start off with those because they're fascinating, and you're a family man, and you give great advice on being a part of a family and raising a family.
As you know, all children are different. Some are easy to raise, some are a little bit more challenging. I talk about, some things that will work raising your children, like discipline and loving and spending as much time with them, because your son's not going to remember, the $45 mitt. They're going to remember you playing ball with them.
Another chapter on money.
What I've given in the money chapter, I give a little synopsis on a financial plan that may work for you, It may not, but take a look at it.
You have a whole chapter devoted to religious and soul searching.
So what I did in my chapter, I gave a synopsis of all the different religions in the world. And then I wrote a prayer. There's a prayer in there. And it's a prayer that everybody can use because there's a little section there where you can adjust it to just yourself. So there's a prayer in there for you to use.
Tell people that are watching this video why you think they would enjoy reading your book.
Number one, I think they would be inspired. At age 20, I didn't know what I wanted to do, and I became an airline pilot. So that's inspiration for anybody to pursue what they want to. Number two, they would learn more about what pilots do, the interesting lives they live, some of the interesting places they've been to. And then there's those 4 self-help chapters. I'm sure there's at least one chapter that will help somebody. And if one chapter helps somebody, then I'm happy.